Hi folks, time for another church visit. This one's a little bit different to my normal ruins or round towers because it's just a standard old church, still in use today. It's not normally my thing to do these normal churches. Even though themselves they're fascinating in their own way, they've all got their own uniqueness. But I've got enough to keep me occupied with the round towers and the ruins, just so many round Norfolk. So I don't really want to go off on a tangent. But this one, what piqued my interest was some of the old whitewash on the walls. Apparently fell off a few years back during some type of restoration. The whitewash fell off and revealed the wall painting. So I thought, I need to go and have a look-see. So apparently all churches were adorned with wall paintings. However, with the Reformation of 1534, they saw the breaking away of the English Church from the Catholic Church in Rome and King Henry VIII as its supreme head. We all know about the dissolution of the monasteries and what he did there, but I never knew that all the churches were whitewashed during this period as a result of the Protestants' Reformation rejection of religious imagery. So that involved covering up or removing all existing wall paintings, statues, other decorations, anything considered religious imagery was gone. So most of the church windows were also smashed if they contained anything religious. So what a shame, so many beautiful buildings destroyed, but that's history I suppose. So anyway, that's enough of me rabbiting. Let's head off and see what awaits. I'll see you there. Alright folks, I'm back from the church. Just going to get editing all the stuff, but just to let you know, my video, well not my video, I should say my audio packed up on my phone. So I'm going to have to do kind of a voiceover as to what I saw as I walked through. So no idea how that's going to turn out, but we'll see. Alright folks, here we are at Dalling. It's a lovely church. It dates from around 1370 as it is, but the church is known to have been on the site at least since the reign of Henry II from around 1160. The village is also listed in the Domesday Book with a working population of 24. The first recorded rector of this church is Richard de Saxlingham, who was appointed by Hardwin de Bacon, Lord of Holt Manor. But it's a nice building. It's set in quite a large churchyard. I'm just zooming in there on bits and bobs as I walk past. Well, there, the tower was built around 1380 and the nave and chancel from a century later. And when you see that the tower is out of alignment with the nave, it appears, so the experts say, that a rebuilding of the tower was intended, but it didn't happen before the Reformation intervened. So I'll just have a walk around the outside of the church before we go in and have a quick have a look on the outside, see what's going on. So just walking past the south porch there, scooting round to the west tower. It's not a huge tower, but it's got the old diagonal buttresses, as you can see. There you go, just looking up. And apparently there's 5 bells in the tower now. So there never used to be, I think it was 1 and then 3 and then 5 now. But coming round to the north face, just having a northwest face. This is now the north face. So it looks in pretty good condition really, but it did get what's the word? Repaired in the 19th century, I think. Here we go, there's a blocked arch. That was, apparently there used to be a side chapel here. It was demolished, but traces have been found around the outside of the building. So I'll scoot on back round to the south porch and we'll go in the church and have a look what's what. Yeah, but it's in a very good condition really. Still used to this day. It's not a ruin. Say it's not normally my thing, but this wall painting has piqued my interest, so must go and have a look. And here we go. The porch was originally built in the 14th century, but has been much restored apparently. So, some little niches there. So, don't know what that was used for. Store a little statue maybe. Maybe the porch niches had a use. I don't know. Just as we go in, if you just look on that doorway, there's a cross on that one. And that one's got like a diagonal cross on it, like a hot cross bud type of thing. So don't know what the difference of them crosses signify. So it's a pretty basic porch. Doorways, nothing extravagant. But yeah, as we get into this church, look at it, it's just got such a great rural feel to it. It's just your classic countryside church. It's very wide. It doesn't look it from the outside, but it's really wide church. It's got a wide north aisle, if you look, and it's just... So, we'll have a stroll into under the tower. So there we've got another hand-drawn hearse, quite common in these Norfolk churches. So, it's up to the bells. As I said, the church has now got 5 bells. They were made at Thomas Gardner's bell foundry in Norwich, and were the last Norwich set to be cast in 1750. They're also believed to be the only complete set of Thomas Gardner bells to survive intact. But they've now been adapted from swinging action to hammer struck, because I don't think the frame up the tower is strong enough to survive the swinging. So just a couple of tombstones there in the floor. What's this one? In memory of James Brooke, 1771. Got a nice octagonal font standing right by one of the arch piers. It's from the 15th century. Some of the panels depicting sacred monograms. Very nice. And that the wooden cover dates from 1662. It's a nice little basic font, but on a stone step. Up there we've got the royal coat of arms for King George. It's unusual in being a hatchment or diamond form. This one's thought to be early 18th century, but it was restored by a London artist in the mid 19th century. So apparently his signature is on it. Lovely colours coming from this northwest window. Look at that. Stunning. It's really the colours, superb. So we'll have a stroll down the north aisle. The poppy heads on these bench pews are mostly 15th century. Look at them. There's also some box pews here, which are about 18th century. That looks in a bit better condition. And here's what I really came for, this painting. Uncovered when the whitewash fell off. Look at that. Fascinating image there. Birds on trees, on a tree. Look at that. Amazing to think this has been covered up for almost 500 years since the Reformation in 1534. What else is behind all that whitewash? And I believe most of the churches all had wall paintings like this, covered the whole walls. What else is there waiting to be discovered, eh? But not sure why that image was covered over, as it's hardly showing any religious symbols really. But in the Bible, birds nesting in trees, particularly in the parable of the mustard seed, symbolises God's kingdom, growing from a small beginning to a place of refuge and provision for many. So maybe that's why it got covered up. So who knows? No idea what this plaque says on the flagstone. I'm sure if that's in Latin or not, or just very old English. But that's a lovely church. It's got such a lovely vibe to it. Church vibe, oddly enough. Got a plaque there on the wall. What's this for? I'll just zoom in and have a look. Oh, war graves plaque for those that lost their lives in World War One. RIP people. Rest in peace. Thank you for your service. Great view into what we got here. Another plaque. What's this one? On some platform. Something used to rest on there, no doubt. Maybe a little ornament. A little statue. What's this one? Another plaque to commemorate Henry Savoy, washed overboard from the ship Duntroon off the Cape of Good Hope in 1876, aged 16. How sad. It's the amazing thing with these churches, they're all different, all have their unique history with stories to tell and bits and bobs. None of them are the same. None of them are the same. So, I've got the south window there. A little story at the bottom. Superb. Heading towards the chancel. There's a little doorway there. Did that lead to the stairs that used to go to the rood, I wonder? Highly likely. So, Oh, into the chancel we go. So this was all restored in the 19th century. All the chancel windows was by William Warrington and was added in about 1859. It's recorded in the church warden's record of that time. The east window was paid for by the parishioners in memory of their vicar, Reverend Upjohn. One of the windows tells the story of the Good Samaritan. The other depicts the crucifixion, flanked by the parable of the sower and the Boaz, watching Ruth gleaning in the fields. For the locals of the time, who would have known about these stories, but never seen them illustrated before, it must have seemed superb. There's the old blocked up doorway and arch that was once the side chapel. What we've got there, a very old seat. It's very basic. I'm guessing this is the piscina, tucked away in the corner. Look at that view that the clergy had. Oh, tradesman's entrance for the old clergy. Oh, another tombstone from 1730. Look at that view. The parishioners from that north aisle would barely have been able to see the clergy, but a little small pulpit there for the man to say his words. Let's have another last look at that wall painting. A very poor zooming effort there. Well, that's a bit better. Wonder whether they had any colours originally. Oh. There's also a significant amount of medieval glass in the tracery lights that somehow managed to survive the Reformation. On the north side, there's the figures of St Andrews and St Cecilia. On the south side here, the glass is all from 1460-1480. And it's good. Amazing. They never got destroyed, bricks through them like most of the other things. I suppose because the churches in these rural places tucked away out the way. But yeah. Nice old church. So, a quick last look around. Superb. Then it's out we go. And thank you, Phil Dalling. Very, very nice, very interesting. So, on to the next one. I'll see you there. Cheerio.